If you're really frustrated and depressed, let's just say you don't feel of worth, you're just never going to get a break, you're just not owed success, you're maybe a little bit overweight, you're just not feeling it. Somehow, some way, you're just not 100%. Say, for example, you are a manager of a store, and then there's an owner of that store. There's two different roles, two different directions. I think you could be falling victim to being a manager of your life, not an owner of your life. See, when you're a manager, your role and responsibility is completely different than an owner. An owner makes real big decisions. You want to start realizing that, hey, am I an owner of my life or am I a manager of my life? There's two different roles, two different outcomes. So your first step, and I highly recommend this, start subtracting people from your life. These are family members, friends, and associations. Because what's happening right now, you're very fuzzy. You can't really have no clarity when you're so busy, and you think you're so overwhelmed being busy, but you're busy managing all these other lives, including managing this time the wrong way. First step is that you have to disconnect and subtract people in order to add the right people in your life. And by subtracting people from your life, what you're gonna find out, you're gonna have a lot of alone time. And that's where a lot of people subconsciously really don't wanna go, because that's transparency. You're gonna realize a lot of the things you haven't been doing that you should be doing. Company will just get you distracted from the reality and the transparency of what you should be doing. You have to be intentional though. So I sold a company for $1 billion. And how I sold that company, I gave that company my full undivided attention, all my energy. And what happens when you give all your energy and focus to something, it grows. You need to start focusing on your best investment. Yes, you may not even have $5 in the bank account, but you have no idea you're holding the best investment. You're 1 out of 8 billion people on the planet. Can you imagine the power of that? So are you taking care of yourself physically? Are you overweight? You're eating the wrong way? Those little patterns are very important, because you cannot become financially successful if you can't even take care of yourself. If you're not respecting and honoring your body and your mind, what you're actually intercepting to create a mindset, what you're eating, are you exercising, and be really transparent. This is for somebody who's really financially struggling or somebody that actually has a company. When you're by yourself, you're gonna form what's called clarity. When you have clarity, you start seeing the obvious of what to execute on. Once you start executing, what we're trying to accomplish here is to build a new pattern, meaning that I'm feeling fun, it's exciting, I'm starting to really feel good within. And what happens is your confidence rises. You want momentum on that confidence. The reason that you don't feel like you're winning, or you're not expanding that business like it should be, or you're not closing enough sales, whatever the case may be, or maybe in an awful relationship, you're managing all this versus owning all this. When you own it, you're very transparent and you start executing on that clarity. Chances are you're doing something completely different before hours and after hours. These two areas in life are very critical. These two areas are supposed to be making you money on your time. But you could be in a pattern where you're just working, or you have that business and you know exactly what you're gonna do after hours and before hours. You have to break those patterns. Whatever you're doing on either side of that stick has to stop. When you stop it, you'll start realizing what you should be actually doing to blow up that business, to start investing in real estate, to start being mindful, learn how money works. Learn how the mindset works. If you don't spend time and you ignore this, I can promise you, based on my personal testimonial, you don't have a shot. You will continue this pattern and you're swimming around depression. Some of you may say, Bobby, if I cut out everybody, who do I have? That's the point. We need to cut out a lot of people and subtract ourselves so you have this clarity. And clarity means this: wow, I have this person all along for the last 4 years right in front of me. Just think about it. I know individuals for many years, and they have an opportunity to possibly pitch me on something or whatever. Not to say I'm gonna do it, but they're so fuzzy, they don't even execute on opportunity. The reason they're so fuzzy, they have so much management going on with distractions. Can you imagine if they have clarity of their business? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize what I have here. Let me go to this individual, get help, get an investment, do something. It's new people automatically come. You'll clearly see them, whether that's on social media, primarily LinkedIn, or you're probably gonna use Instagram differently. This is focus, given energy. New people come in when you release yourself from the old people they give you no ROI on it. They're as stuck as you are. They're beautiful people, it's great. You got to disconnect from them so you can attach onto something else. And when you disconnect, imagine, this is you right now. But now it goes away, you see a whole different world. You see a new you. So in order to establish new relationships, you have to get uncomfortable. Meaning in your local market, I don't care where you're at. There's conferences, there's network breakfasts, all this boring stuff that's not like the Instagram with all the flash dance. That is gold there. That's how he became financially free. What are you doing with that time, and what else can you do with that time? Say, for example, if I was you, I will be hitting conferences. I will go to a conference every evening, one evening a week, to meet new people, meet new entrepreneurs, new information. You have to break the pattern because you're not disconnecting from the pattern that associates with other people, so you can put yourself in a state. But first, you need the confidence. You're just not going to go out there and do it. That's why it's so important to take care of your mind, body, and spirit. A young person, especially a young person, starting to do good, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. They're so vulnerable that they have no idea. And that complete discipline is absolutely needed at a whole extreme different level versus without. Yeah, they're committed. They're disciplined because they got to a certain point. But this next level, this next point, the discipline, the commitment, the obsession is completely 100x more. How do you find it? How do you do that? Because that's what it's going to take. That's how I expanded the business. We expanded the business to sell it for $1 billion. It's a whole new way of thinking and being. When you're an entrepreneur or you want to succeed, the commitment, the discipline, the execution, the strategy is completely different at a much higher hierarchy. You will park yourself there because your discipline, commitment, passion, and obsession is all here. You have maxed out and you don't understand the next level. When you go to that next level, this mindset I'm talking about has to be really dialed in. Now, for the ones that have an ego, you may say, no, man, but that's just, no, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm going to get it, Bobby, I'm going to get it. I love the excitement, I love the passion, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it until you get serious. Every stage, you need to be subtracting people. You need to really make hard decisions. If you're that individual that has a small business or a medium business, and if you're spending money on some flash dance stuff, if you're roaming around Instagram just wasting time, how dare you? And you say you want it, you're only going to stay where you're at. If you want that next level, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing that I have to stop, and what do I have to start doing? Because every level, you have to be saying yeses and nos to. What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? Because if you're not paying attention, you're not going to be able to leverage to the next level. This is called scaling. It gets very deep for most. They'll stay parked unless things start changing. Well, Bobby, what has to change? So much, man.